Evening everyone, welcome back to the channel. So tonight I'm going to be doing another review of this, the Yamaha FG850 Acoustic. And the reason I'm doing another review of it is, if you want to see the original review, by the way, just check the link above, and I'll just have a look at the playlist on the channel. Yeah, so I did it originally 3 years ago. So I bought this guitar right at the height, well, right at the beginning of the lockdown, and March 2020 is when I got it. And the reason I got it was, well, the theory behind it was, I wanted a mahogany guitar. Why? Just sort of to complement my voice a little bit better. So I've got quite a trebly, high voice. Not a lot of bottom end in it, and I wanted an acoustic guitar which had more bottom end to complement my voice. So that was the theory. Whether it worked or not, I'll explain in this video. So before I start though, just sort of a brief history about the acoustic guitars that I've owned over the years, and I've been really lucky with acoustic guitars actually. I've only really owned 3. So the first acoustic that I had was Simon and Patrick SP6 acoustic. So that had a cedar top, and I had that for a lot of years, over 10 years. And the reason I got rid of it was it had a very sort of, when it developed, a very thuddy bass string, a very muddy and thuddy sounding bass string, not very clear. So I got a bit sick of that sound, and I wanted something with a little bit more clarity to it. So the next guitar that I bought was a Taylor 11E, which is a more traditional spruce topped instrument, and that was a great guitar. It had a lot more zing to it. A lot of people have compared Taylors to Fenders, and the sort of the tone that they're going for, like a more the clearer, more trebly focused end of the sound spectrum, and that's what I got. It was a really nice clear sound. People have commented that it even had a sort of a chorus effect to it, like a natural chorus effect to it. But I thought the bass response was lacking in that guitar, even though it was a great instrument. Taylors are renowned for the playability. But the main thing with the Taylor was it just wasn't a very inspiring instrument. I didn't get a lot of songs out of that guitar. It was a good tool, but I never really clicked with it as an instrument. And I've done a few videos on this channel with the Taylor. And hearing back on those videos, there just seems to be just a total lack of bass response, which is why I originally had the idea of going for something like this, a mahogany bodied instrument. So anyway, fast forward to March 2020, and I thought, I'm gonna go Yamaha FG. That's a big name, a big brand. The FG's world famous quality brand really, and I saw this mahogany top and I thought, yeah, that's the one to go for. So 3 years later, here we are, January 2023. I've still got the guitar, but this video is going to really be about, is it still as great as what I thought it was 3 years ago when I did the original review video? And the answer is really yes and no. So the first thing I want to mention really is the value for money on this. So when you've actually got the guitar in your hands, it feels like a quality instrument, but just dig a little bit deeper. To me, it's always felt like the build is really light on this guitar. It feels like only the slightest knock is going to dent it. Now I know there's an argument out there that that's the way that acoustics are supposed to be. constructed. They're supposed to be lightly built for the best tone. But other acoustics that I've had, including the Taylor, just seemed a lot more sturdy. So whether this sounds better than the Taylor because it's got a lighter build, I'm not so sure. I've heard videos back playing the same songs on this and the Taylor, and I think the Taylor sounds better. You know, going against all I've just said previously, I think, you know, A, B on the same song on different guitar, I think the Taylor did sound better in hindsight and had better build quality. But then you're talking about an American instrument which retails at about twice the cost of this now. You know, if you buy a Taylor 1A now, it retails for about £800. This retails for about £350, £400. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, the first thing is, this is a, you know, £350, £400 instrument. I'll be honest, the build quality does feel light. Well, jury's out whether that's a good thing or not, but it doesn't feel like it'll take the knocks as well as the Taylor. Still going at value for money. I think, you know, the biggest downside of this guitar is the Yamaha FG850, you know, which is the cheaper version of this guitar, and it's quite a substantial amount cheaper as well. You're talking £200 cheaper. The FG800 is a £200 guitar. This is £200 more, and there's a bit more bling on this. I mean, there's a bit more abalone. It's got the binding, which is nice. It's got the mahogany top, which is different to the FG100s. I think that's got a spruce top. But it is a £200 more guitar. Would I've been happy with just getting the FG800? I think probably in hindsight, yes. And one of the main reasons behind that is, you know, I think spruce is the traditional wood for a guitar top. And I think this guitar, although it does sound brilliant, and it does fix the problems that I had in the past, you know, with, you know, I thought I needed a guitar that was going to sound a bit richer and a bit deeper. But the mahogany top just hasn't got that airy ring of a spruce top, the traditional spruce top. So yeah, it's £200 that you're paying for mahogany, and bear in mind that this guitar for almost £400 still has laminated back and sides. It still has a NATO neck, not mahogany, NATO neck. Yeah. No electrics on it. It's just a basic, you know, plain bare bones acoustic. So in conclusion, I think it's a little bit expensive for what it is. Especially when you look at the FG800 and other guitars out there, you know, in the Seagull range or the Simon & Parrott range. Yeah, so there's that. The other downside to this guitar that I mentioned in the original review video was the setup out of the box. So basically the truss rod was completely slack when it arrived. So I've since tightened it up, which improved the action a bit. But since then, what I've actually done is I've sanded the bottom of the saddle to get the action right down. And now the action on it is absolutely perfect. So, and by perfect I mean it's as low as it can go without any buzzes or rattles or anything. And I'm more than happy with that action. It plays brilliantly. I also mentioned Yamaha dimensions. So they've got their own sort of quirky dimensions to Yamaha guitars. They've got sort of, they normally have very, very, very flat radius fingerboards and very skinny frets. So does this. So it's got a particular feel. I mean, I'm always going to prefer, you know, the more of a Gibson-ish radius. This is flatter than a Gibson. I don't know what radius this is. It feels like 14 radius on that, as, you know, as opposed to a 12 or whatever. But It's very flat, but it is something that you get used to, and I have got used to it. But I just prefer less of a radius, especially on chords and stuff like that. But this, I mean, there's no complaints with this guitar. Once you get it in your hands and start playing, you forget about all that stuff. All I'm doing is comparing it against personal preference, really. Yeah. So yeah, value for money. They play a bit, but the quirks. That's kind of been ironed out. Nothing. I mean, the tuners are rock solid, but yeah, you're talking about it. It's a £400 guitar. I was just expecting a bit more than some extra abalone and bling and for the money's worth, especially on, you know, especially compared to the FG800. Now, so that's not the end of the story. I think what this guitar's got, the Simon and Patrick had it to some degree, and the Taylor definitely did not have it, was when I pick this guitar up, if I've got a mindset of, right, I'm gonna try and come up with a song idea or whatever, this guitar just delivers it straight. I don't know what it is, but as soon as I get my fingers, you know, on there and start experimenting with a few different things, this, strange to say, but this guitar sort of, it talks to you. Basically, it gives you the ideas pop out, and I think that's because it's got a slightly different tonality to the regular spruce, you know, so it's not as predictable. It's giving you different tones, which it's giving you different ideas, and I think that's the beauty of this guitar, you know. So in my head I'm thinking, well, I haven't got that nice ring of the spruce anymore, but the payoff is I'm coming up with, you know, different ideas and more ideas on this guitar. Yeah, it's got the very, very flat radius, but you sort of forget about that when you're in the process of, you know, putting songs together or playing or whatever. So yeah, there's that sort of, I guess, emotional bond with this guitar that I never had with the Taylor. I did a review of the Taylor on the blog. I'll put a link on that describing, you know, why the Taylor was such a great tool, but didn't really inspire any ideas or any songs out of it, really. So yeah, anything else? Well, you know, I mean, I suppose the biggest advert for this guitar is it's still, you know, it's still here. I haven't sold it on. You know, the thing about purchasing this guitar to go with my voice, you know, so sort of trebly voice, bassier guitar, whether that rings true or not, I'm not so sure. I think it's just that this guitar has just I've sort of bonded with it. I don't think it has anything to do with having a mahogany top. I think I would have bonded with, for example, the FG800 and saved about £200. Whether that would have actually happened or not, I can't say. You know, other than going out and buying an FG800, which I'm not going to do now because I've got this now. You know, going back to the Taylor is out of the question because that's like double the price now. So yeah, maybe I should have gone for the FG800 is probably the answer that I'm looking for there. But nevertheless, you know, it is a beautiful looking guitar. Do I prefer the look of this to a spruce top guitar? Nope. I don't. I think it is a nice looking guitar, but I think it's too red. And in hindsight, I would have preferred a more traditional looking guitar, you know, with the pale top and the darker sides. In the future, you know, if I was going to upgrade, you know, I would definitely look at something with a spruce top, but also solid back and sides. I definitely wouldn't want to have you know, I can't really, to be honest, I can't really tell the difference, but I wouldn't want to, you know, and NATO is a cheap option, you know, that's how they've cut the costs. Yeah, so yeah, it is what it is. I made the purchase 3 years ago. this guitar has absolutely, you know, delivered. It's delivered music, you know. It's come up with stuff that I never thought I'd come up with, that I've never come up with before. New ideas. That's just, whether it's the construction of the guitar, I don't know. But yeah, so I just wanted to give you some thoughts really about this guitar 3 years on after it's been put through its paces. You know, there's a few chinks in the armour of it, but it hasn't stopped us really wanting to get rid of it. There's no issues with this guitar at all. You know, there's tuning wise, machine heads not, you know, playability perfect. You know, so it's been a good companion. Would I recommend it? No, I would recommend the FG800. Or if you've got a bit more money, go for something which is all solid and has got the mahogany neck. Also, if you wanted to get something where you want to play it live, you know, this is no good. You want something either, well, you could probably just install a pickup system in this, but I think you'd be better off just going for, you know, something with something inbuilt. So anyway, I'm rambling. Hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I haven't, you know, been too negative about this guitar, which is a guitar that I do love. I do love this guitar. I'm not getting rid of it yet, but I just wanted to point out a few things that have cropped up over the last 3 years that weren't apparent when I first bought the guitar. So there you go. So anyway, I'll catch you on the next one. Please like, subscribe, do all that, carry on, whatever you want to do. It helps the channel and I appreciate it a lot. Thanks very much. See you in the next one.